Junior Pro Karts are up next, and before the finals got underway, I spoke to one of the championship contenders at what is both the final round for the official British Championship for Junior Pro Karts at this round 7 of the UK Kart Series, sort of a 2-in-1 deal.
Finley Marshall, I'm from Oxfordshire. I race in Junior Pro Kart and I'm number 75.
Okay, Finley, tell us a little bit about your background in karting. When did you start?
On and off, sort of rental karting since I was younger, and then last season we went into Club 100 for a season. Sort of found a feet there and then moved into Junior Pro Kart this season.
And that fits in nicely, of course, with these karts. They're I've described these as, and the senior karts as like rental karts, but on speed.
Yeah.
And that's fair, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, similar speeds as well to Club 100 previously. Sort of handle the same to the rental karts, just bigger.
And in Junior Pro Kart this year, now in UK Kart Series, we're concentrating on the British Championship class, which is this class, but it's effectively two classes in one within the championship, isn't it? There's a UK Kart Series Championship, you've got the British Championship itself. Just explain where you are in both championships. So in the UK Kart Series, first of all.
So in the UK Kart Series, I'm first leading the championship, and in the British Championship, I'm first without drop rounds.
Just explain how the drop rounds work in this British Championship Series.
So for the British Championship, you get one drop round, which is your lowest haul of points over the season, which doesn't count towards your end total.
Taking into account a drop score at the moment, I think you're sitting in third. How close are you to the lead of the championship, and what does that mean you've got to do this weekend, do you think?
There's 6 points separating the top 3 of us. So we just need to finish ahead in the final and see where we come in the heats.
So who are your main competitors then coming up in this final?
Isaac Duff, number 74, and Ollie Watson, number 15.
And they've been pretty quick, I've noticed, in qualifying, haven't they? So can you do it this weekend?
I think we have pace yesterday. In qualifying in the evening, we struggled with a puncture at the rear left, and we were 2 tenths off them. So I think in the heats we can get up to them, but it'll be hard.
I know with the senior pro karts, they're doing more endurance races, aren't they? Is that the same with juniors or not?
I've taken part in the senior championships, but as far as junior pro kart goes, I don't think there is an endurance championship.
And how have you enjoyed the championship this year? It's the first year for a sprint series in pro karts.
It's been really good fun. Again, it's my first season in pro karts, so it's been an eye-opener for that as well, but really enjoyed the whole season.
Okay, well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Marshall, Watson, Duff, the 3 men that can take the championship in the British Pro Kart Championship here in the UK Kart Series. Let's see how it goes. None of them are on the front row of the grid. It's Amy Peacock and Ian Bagger that are on the front row of the starting grid. Oliver Hall is alongside Isaac Duff, P4. Then Daniel Kadaszynski and Max Manion. Finley Marshall's all the way down in 7th on the grid. Charlie Brooks is 8th. Isaac Hobbs, P9. And Oliver Watson starting in 10th position at the back. So as championship showdowns go, 4th, 7th and 10th, it's going to be a very tough race.
It's absolutely astonishing based on what Finley was just saying. His main competitors are Isaac Duff. Well, he's 4th, but Finley in 7th and Watson in 10th at the back of the field. Obviously, they've had problems in the heats, and that's given them those grid positions for the final. But here we come.
Also pointing out that there's 10 drivers on the grid. There's 1 girl, and she's in pole position. Don't you dare say women can't race. Here they come to the start line. Ian Bagger's hoping for a good start. Let's see if we get a good launch on rolling start, and it's under starter's orders. Amy Peacock gets a very good launch to turn 1. There's nothing Bagger can do about that, but coming into 2nd position, Isaac Duff has charged his way forward. That puts him now into P2. So from the very early point of this race, Isaac Duff has shot forward from 4th to 2nd. Ian Bagger is left spitting fumes in fury down in 4th position. It could be 3rd on the way through hands. It is indeed. He picks up 3rd position once again. So Isaac Duff now running into 2nd position, and there's a tough battle going on for 4th position downwards. But how much of an impact can Finley Marshall and Oliver Watson hope to make? They're in the top 10 still, of course. Only 10 karts in it, but they've still got to make massive progress. The way things are currently looking with Duff at the sharp end of the field, he's definitely going to score more points if it stays like this. But we're going to need the calculators out at the end of this one to figure out who's going to get the job done. Yeah,
Amy Peacock set the fastest lap, not surprisingly, and she's already gapping Isaac Duff in 2nd. Isaac, by the way, has made his way from Stockton on Tees to Dorchester. What a journey that is.
Big charge forward from Marshall. Sorry, he's picked up the pieces on Kaczynski, so that puts him into 6th position. An important overtake for Finley Marshall. Championship-wise, he needed to get that done, so he's now in P6, trying to chase after Mannion and Hall, who are having an absolutely electric war for 4th position between these two. Run wide there from Mannion. This could be a charge for Oliver Hall to make his bid up into the first corner, up through Billy's blind. Is there going to be an opportunity to dive in on the inside? Not quite yet, but through to 6th position. Crucial for Finley Marshall, now in P6. Watson is up to 8th as well. So all the championship contenders are making progress, but are they going to get the chance to go for Amy Peacock? Given her current speed, you would probably say not likely.
I would say absolutely not likely. She's got a 15 kart length lead at the moment. So Amy Peacock showing again. The girls in karting, especially in the UK, I know you do a lot abroad. That's Finley Marshall's picture, by the way, man from Merton in Oxfordshire, but he's got plenty to do. I know you do a lot of karting abroad, Jake, where there are a lot of quick girls.
There certainly are, but now we're seeing some of the great talents of Britain move forward. Alicia Parmowski now doing well in cars. So, of course, is Jamie Chadwick out in the States. They're coming quick.
Before the break, Jake, you were talking about the quick girls. You failed to mention Abby Pulling, of course, who's leading the F1 Academy as well. That's somebody that we covered extensively as a junior in karting.
Yeah, she is indeed, backed by the Alpine Academy as well, of course. So the road to Formula One is definitely looking rosy for British karting talent, and there's definitely more and more competitive names coming up on the board. Certainly here at the UK Kart Series, it's not just Amy Peacock. We obviously saw in the earlier Honda Cadet race the brilliant Nikita Roberts. So there's, oh, that's a very tough block from Max Mannion to shake things up in the battle for 4th position. He really had to hold his nerve there to shake off Oliver Hall. This is a great opportunity now for Finley Marshall. Marshall can really attack, and so too can Oliver Watson. The concertina effect gives them both a chance of a move. Watson can't get his done, nor sadly can Finley Marshall, but here is pressure from Isaac Duff, because Ian Bagger wants that front row position back. He wants to get into 2nd place again.
Yeah, I would say the way things are shaping up here, we don't have the full championship points after the heats at the present time, but I think Isaac Duff, the way things are sitting here, he looks like he's in the box seat to win this inaugural British Junior Pro Karting Championship.
Well, Marshall and Watson have got to make some progress. Marshall currently P6. There's the move, finally, from Oliver Hall. He's been building up to it for quite some time now on Max Mannion. He gets into 4th position. Now can Mannion defend from Finley Marshall? Well, Watson has got through past Kaczynski. So Watson is up to 7th place now. So we've got a really interesting battle coming up, because the two title contenders, Finley Marshall and Oliver Watson, are on the track together in 6th and 7th, and they're desperate to get ahead of Max Mannion and Oliver Hall. Oliver Hall has lost out to Max Mannion again, so Mannion's got back into 4th position once more. I was so busy looking at Watson, I didn't actually see where Mannion made the leap back in front of Oliver Hall. So these 4 drivers are going to give us a proper battle now. Here's the brawl up the inside. Oh, and that's Marshall, wheel to wheel. Can he get the job done on Oliver Hall? Hall is having to go ultra defensive. Now he's chopping across on Marshall. You're not going to get through that easy, sunshine. Into Hans hairpin. He's had to go very defensive, and Mannion's got clear. So this is a big headache for Marshall and for Watson, because Max Mannion is pulling away from them.
Yeah, and they've got to finish not only ahead of the driver in front.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Like somebody pulled out there.
That was Oliver Watson. I think Watson had a problem. Yes, Watson's dropped back. It almost looked as though he got on the curb and lost the back end or something was failing on the kart and then came back to him, because Watson, that was a very slow lap from him as well. They're a 40.3 by comparison to everyone else in the 39s. So it almost looked as if he had a mechanical issue. Well, he's got back ahead of Dan Kaczynski, so I'm not quite sure what happened there to Oliver Watson. It was a proper headache for him, and he's lost a lot of ground as a result.
Yeah, a lot of ground, and this is turning into a disastrous weekend for Oliver Watson. Not much better for Finley Marshall, but okay for Isaac Duff. All right, he's not leading the race. That's Amy Peacock, and she is well clear, by the way. She set the fastest lap of the race so far. Isaac Duff's just set his fastest lap last time round, and then Peacock sets another fastest lap. That is Isaac Duff, that he picked out there in the graphic as the championship leader. That's what we think he is as things stand, but we'll pick that up after the race is finished. I think he's going to be the inaugural British champion in Pro Kart Junior Sprint Racing this season, Jake.
Well, it's the championship that's kind of becoming a bit of a subplot in this race, isn't it? Because we've got Amy Peacock dominating out in front, nobody even really able to hold a candle to her at this point. And then this relentless squabble for 5th position. This is turning into a proper war. Actually, now it's 4th position, isn't it? Because Max Mannion has actually been caught by Oliver Hall and Finley Marshall. They teamed up and they've gained back the ground that they needed to. Finley Marshall's going for broke, trying to go around the outside of Oliver Hall and then tuck back in on the exit of Billy's Blind. Not going to happen. But Max Mannion had got well clear of these guys. And now Oliver Hall and Finley Marshall have closed up once again. Look at Mannion, defensive tactics down to Hans Hairpin. No way are you going to get through on the inside of me. Finley Marshall thinks, right, well, that's a concertina effect I can take advantage of. And here comes Watson, diving in to try and make the move himself. Watson is ahead. Oh, brilliant opportunistic racing from Oliver Watson. He dives in on Finley Marshall and gets in front. Well, that's interesting. Isaac Duff is waving at Ian Bagger as they battle over 2nd place.
I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's all kicking off, there's no doubt. Great battling all through the field. Katarzyński there, the man from Birmingham, he's in this mix.
It was so funny between Isaac Duff and Ian Bagger that looked like something from the London to Brighton car trials, didn't it? After you, sir. Oh no, my dear friend, after you. That's not the kind of racing we're used to at Clay Pigeon. Meanwhile, Mannion is an absolute brick wall. They need to storm past him as if they were in Berlin at the moment. This is proper stuff. Now they've got Oliver Watson breathing down the neck, and Finley Marshall was not able to get past them both. Can Watson succeed where Marshall could not? He's going to try and tighten up at the pit bend. Mannion's left the door open a little bit for a run on the outside of Billy's Blind. He's going to get some support from Watson. Watson will want him to get the job done, but Mannion pulls across. He's still not going to get the inside line move.
Finley Marshall's championship aspirations are going up in smoke. Here he's there in 7th place, as indeed are Ollie Watson. He is in 6th now in front of Marshall.
That's
but
Bagger.
I don't think that's enough, because Bagger's got past Isaac Duff, but I still think Duff has got enough points in the bag here to take the British Championship in this class.
Yeah, it's crucial that Duff is no longer ahead of Ian Bagger, because it's definitely going to tighten things up a bit. And look, Bagger is pushing. Look, stop waving at me. Stop communicating with me. Let's just go get the leader. There's no point having this conversation at full pelt down the straight. Get on with it.
No chance. That is absolutely no chance they're going to catch the leader. Amy Peacock is gone. We've not seen a lot of her since the start of the race, Jake, so he's just clearing off. So, you know, we don't cover karts going around the track on their own.
Watson now up to P5. He's managed to get the move done on Oliver Hall, so this is crucial for Oliver Watson's title aspirations. If he can get ahead of Max Mannion, then it's going to be a really tight battle after the race. When we look at the points table, we're going to need several people's calculators, I think. But out in front, Amy Peacock, dominant, stretching away a magnificent advantage over Ian Bagger and Isaac Duff. Duff could really do with getting back ahead of Bagger to cement a championship assault. Here comes Watson, side by side with Mannion, going for full position. They've hit each other. Oh, Watson goes clean off, so does Mannion, and they are furious with each other.
Well, I'm not quite sure what happened. Here's the slow motion replay.
They're just tagged wheels. I don't think there's anyone at fault at that. Racing incident.
Yeah, I think it will be seen as that by the officials, to be honest, if they've seen it. They can't take action unless they see things, but even looking at that in slow motion, I'm not sure who was at fault there, if anybody.
No, I don't think you can really point the finger and say that was Max Mannion's fault. You can't point the finger and say that was Oliver Watson's fault. They both wanted the same bit of racetrack. They're both racing drivers. You're not going to ask them to just move over and let the other guy through. It's not a contact sport, but occasionally it's inevitable.
Well, the only driver that will probably have benefited from that will be, in all likelihood, Finley Marshall. That may make him vice champion on the inaugural British Championship Sprint Series for these junior pro karts. But here is Amy Peacock. This is, well, it's Sunday and it's a Sunday drive, let's be honest.
It really is, and in pro kart it is so easy to just check out, disappear and dominate. It's a very competitive class of kart, is pro kart, and for somebody to come here and put in such an exemplary performance as Amy Peacock, who now goes into the penultimate lap, and the lead that she's got over not just any old drivers, but Ian Bagger, who's been a front runner all season, and Isaac Duff, who is potentially the new champion. I mean, it's incredible what Amy Peacock has done here at Clay.
Yeah, I've not seen much of her before, Jake. In fact, I'm not sure I've seen her at all. Has she been in the championship this season?
Not this season, no.
I don't remember her being in the championship this season.
She's
probably a local runner, of course, so has a little bit of a a benefit over everybody else.
But
This will
what
be
this-
her local track,
But
no
what
doubt.
this does mean is that everybody else out there is going to have to learn some serious lessons from her. She's put in an amazing effort into the last lap.
Yeah, because even though this might be her local track, if she can do this, then theoretically everybody else should be able to match her pace if they're watching what she's doing, watching her lines. Obviously she might have a different setup, probably has got a different setup from everybody else, might have different tyre pressures, etc. But this is a dominating performance by Amy Peacock.
Well, if anybody out there still believes, well, motorsport is a man's world and it's never going to change, stop. You are wrong. Amy Peacock is already changing it. Dominant in Pro Kart in the season finale here at Clay Pigeon. What a victory. Monstrous. Just dominates out in front. Ian Bagger's second place. Isaac Duff comes through. That should be enough. We will confirm it, of course, after the race. But after a very competitive run, Hall in fourth position, Finley Marshall in P5, Daniel Kadaszynski P6, Watson and Mannion will not be speaking to each other back in the paddock, will they? Amy Peacock, though, 3 seconds clear of Ian Bagger. Isaac Duff in third position, a solid end to the season. Oliver Hall 10 seconds back in the end. Finley Marshall right behind him with Dan Kadaszynski in tow. Watson and Mannion licking their wounds after a very competitive race that ended up in the barriers. Isaac Hobbs and Charlie Brooks bring it home, but nobody could take away from the dominant efforts of Amy Peacock. Absolutely exemplary, and all the other drivers ending up looking like second rate compared to her masterclass display here at Clay Pigeon. Brilliant.
And after all that, the British Championship for Junior Pro Kart in its inaugural season goes to Isaac Duff. He edges out Finley Marshall by just 5 points in the end. It was actually Oliver Hall who was effectively the third place contender in that group on track. Finished fourth on the day, third at the end of the season, just 7 points behind Finley Marshall. Oliver Watson actually finished down in fourth place on 442. Ian Bagger in fifth on 423, and then came Ashley Haase, Max Mannion, Ollie Clegg, Isaac Hobbs and Charlie Brooks, rounding up the top 10 at the end of this championship season. Well, that pretty much draws the action to a close for part 1 of the UK Kart Series from Clay Pigeon. But join us for part 2 coming shortly on your local stations for the remaining races, including the final 2 races of the British Pro Kart Championship season, with action and drama in abundance. We'll see you then.